What's happening, everybody? It is your boy, Like Stowe, back today with another video. Today with me, I have my good friend back again to Daigo Knight. Say hey, everybody.
Hello there. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So now today, it's going to be a hectic fight that I really just thought about last week. I've been doing Itachi dirty these past few weeks because of the videos that I've been having him in. But I want to make sure that I get respect on Itachi, because Itachi is like the bomb, right? Now I wanted to pair him with someone else that's another fan favorite who I just did a video on last week as well, which was Nagato, but not Pain. So if you could tell by the title of the video, because I'm rambling, it's Madara versus Itachi and Nagato. But more specifically, if in case you couldn't tell by the title, is we're going to do this Edo version. So Edo Madara versus Edo Nagato and Itachi. And the reason is because I think that Nagato and Itachi, when they're at Edo, is by far, next to Madara, I don't know, they're unstoppable. They're like, especially as a team, as a complete unit, they are unstoppable. So I thought it'd be a good scenario-ish, video to do for seeing if they could take on the main Uchiha himself. Daigo, you got any thoughts about this fight?
Yeah, the three strongest Edo Tensei that Kabuto brings into the war. It's definitely an interesting combination here. And Itachi and Nagato, the strongest Akatsuki duo that we ever see. Of course, they're not Akatsuki anymore when they Edo Tensei, but they're pretty powerful. Nagato by himself was soloing B and Naruto casually, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, there's not much like prerequisite for the the rest of the video. Like I said, it's just them all in their Edo form to see like how they stack up against each other. And yeah, so let's just get on into it. So the first thing that we need to cover right away is probably the most obvious point is the Rinnegan. Like Madara has every ability that Nagato has, essentially, because he also has the Rinnegan himself. And they're both gonna have it like in the same respective like case, because they're both Edo, so it'd be the Edo. So in which case they're both not able to use the Geto statue. The only exception that I probably would give as far as the difference between them is the summons, because Daiga and I were kind of like, we weren't sure if the animal summons were applied to the Rinnegan itself or Nagato himself. Daigo kind of brought up a good point to me about the pain rods that were impaled in the animal summons, that kind of like make it seem that it might be exclusive to Nagato himself. We're not entirely sure, but though now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that Obito had rods in the summon, or the Jinchuriki, or was that?
Yeah, they did, but you can see that the patterns in the summons are actually pretty much like Pain's. Obito actually just used one single rod per Jinchuriki, which made them much easier to defeat because of that, but maybe it was because he was trying to hide them. So there's a good argument that the summons are exclusive to Nagato and that he prepared them and stuff. We just don't know enough to say for sure. We don't know exactly where those summons are before Nagato/Pain summons them, or if the Rinnegan just kind of creates them out of scratch whenever he does so. I don't think the summons would be that impactful against Madara. They could be interesting distractions, though, if we're taking it into account. But even so, I don't think Madara would even opt to use them if he has access to them anyways.
Yeah, and like I said, I because of the animal summons are kind of like Nagato's shtick, because they're mostly associated with Pain, we're probably just going to go and give to Nagato. But like you said, they may or may not make much of a difference. The multi-headed dog is definitely going to be like an issue, right? The bird also, because it gives them flight capabilities, and the chameleon can sort of on paper it kind of is tough to deal with, but when you have someone who has like Madara, who has ocular.
Yeah, he can literally distinguish wood clones from the real ones, so I think he would be able to see the chameleon pretty easily.
So all the rest of them, like the panda bear, it's just solid defense, I suppose. There's a couple I'm missing, I'm sure.
The rhino,
the rhino, yeah, true.
The crab too, but yeah, they're powerful, but I think Madara can.
Me and Daigo were kind of like being generous towards Nagato and saying that like there's a chance that he might be able to get every single one of the summons off at the exact same time. Like we're being generous.
In the war, he summons two at the same time. He summons the bird and the hound in one jutsu, so maybe he can do more. We don't know.
And if that is the case, like I'd say like that they know that who they're up against. It's Madara Uchiha, so they decide to kind of go all out, and Nagato decides to whip out all the summons. Madara is going to reciprocate by summoning at least 25 wood clones, the same way he did against 5 Kage. So,
and use Susanoo's with that.
Exactly. So I told Daigo I'm not so sure if like the teamwork of Itachi and his Susanoo and Nagato and all the animal summons could combat the 25 Wind Clones. I assume that if the 5 Kage were able to collectively work together and take them out, or do well enough, that I feel like this team should too.
To be fair, the 25 Susanoo's were destroyed by Onoki's massive particle style jutsu, which is sheer hacks.
Yeah.
Maybe if Nagato used the Chibaku Tensei to destroy them all at the same time, you could have the same effect, but I don't think they would be able to wipe them out like the Kage did, just because particle style is very, very broken. So it'd be difficult, I would say. Well, there's also a jutsu that Nagato doesn't have access to with his Rinnegan and the Madara has, which is Tengai Shinsei, the 2 meteors, essentially. And we were talking about this a little earlier. It's a powerful jutsu, but I believe that it wouldn't be that effective against Itachi and Nagato, because if Onoki literally tanked the jutsu just by sheer durability, then the Yaramir or even a powerful Shinra Tensei should be able to block it as well. But even still, Nagato wouldn't have access to this one because it's implied that Madara can do it because he can weave hand signs simultaneously with the Susanoo. We'd never really see Nagato even try that, so I guess he can't.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing too that I was trying to go off of, because Daigo kind of told me earlier, like, Nagato may or may not be as a tank as Nagato is. He kind of might be the support when it comes to like actually getting the kill on Madara, because what they're going to have to do is seal Madara. They can't just outright kill him because he's an Edo. So I don't know if Nagato could get close enough to Madara like safely to get Soul Steel. So I feel as though like their best bet is going to have to be the Totsuka Blade.
And let's be honest here. If Nagato starts to Soul Steal Madara, I think Madara can literally do the same and do it faster than Nagato can, because it's implied that the raw strength of the character matters when you're trying to extract the soul. Mm-hmm. So Madara could just, while Nagato's trying to extract his soul, he can just extract Nagato's instead faster than he can and actually deal with Nagato that way. So yeah, Totsuka Blade is probably going to be the best option for them here.
Whether or not they could get the poke with the Totsuka Blade is, I mean, honest to God, like, I'm being dead honest. If they had all the summons out and whatnot, and Nagato is staying behind, shooting off missiles and whatnot, and Itachi trying to distract or whatever using Amaterasu, I think it's in the realm of possibility. But Madara is pretty fast. Like, he was keeping up with the 5 Kage, 1v5, not too much trouble. I mean, he was reacting quick enough to the Raikage, well enough.
The Raikage was amped by Onoki's lightweight boulder technique as well.
Yeah.
So he was doing pretty well against them. And the Totsuka Blade does get Nagato in the war arc, but Nagato's not the most mobile character we've ever seen, even though he got, his younger self back after draining Beast Chakra. Also, we kind of have to assume here that Nagato's probably starting in that state against Madara, because I don't really see him getting younger the way he did against Killer Bee.
Yeah, I was giving him a bit of a bigger benefit of the doubt with that one too. I was already assuming that he was already in his peak Edo condition, because otherwise, he'd get slaughtered. Oh, and that's the thing too. Like you mentioned, like, Nagato is not the most mobile, but also too, I wasn't so sure if that was an implication of because not Nagato, but Kabuto was controlling Nagato, or if that was Nagato himself just standing there and then getting pierced by the Totsuka Blade.
I think Itachi just kind of caught him off guard, to be honest, and because Nagato didn't react to the Totsuka Blade after he got hit, it's implied that you cannot absorb it through the Preta Path, which means that if it does hit Madara, he probably loses the fight. Yeah. But the question is then, how easy is it going to be to hit Madara with it? Because the Susanoo activation is instant. We see that when Itachi tanked Kirin with the Susanoo, and we also see it several other times in the series. I mean, you can't really drain Madara into the blade when he's in the Susanoo, because if that was the case, then Itachi would have essentially sealed Orochimaru in the first poke when he hits the head of the 8-headed serpent for the first time, and he doesn't do that. He has to actually reach for Orochimaru's real body when he emerges.
Yep.
So you wouldn't really be able to just hit Madara's Susanoo and drain him into the blade. You probably have to drain the entire Susanoo, and it wouldn't be something instant, so it's hard anyways for him to do that.
It is very hard, and like, let's say like if Itachi tried to do it like from his rib cage, like the Susanoo rib cage, try to use the Totsuka blade or whatever. Like, I don't know. Well, because like again, his best bet is going to have to do it while Madara's on the ground, you know, because he's not gonna, like you said, he's not doing it while he's in the perfect Susanoo. And I don't even think, like, even if Madara didn't use the perfect Susanoo and he uses more mobile Susanoo, the one that has legs but doesn't have, like, you know, giant wings, like, I still don't even think that Itachi'd still get the poke on that one, because the most of the extent of Itachi's Susanoo is just the big tanky clunky not so fast Susanoo.
Yeah, he's not very mobile with the Susanoo. That's very much implied.
Yeah,
like, he's kind of trudging towards the Orochimaru in their fight. It's not like blitzing him or anything, so it's difficult. And also, if Itachi reveals that he has the Totsuka blade too early into the fight, I'm pretty sure Madara wouldn't know what that is, and he would be like, yeah, I cannot get hit by that thing, so let me do everything possible to counter that guy. So Itachi would have to hide the fact that he has the Totsuka blade up until he sees a window of opportunity to actually hit Madara, and that will be his one chance. Because if Madara sees that...
Well, I was going to say, on the back up your point, like, for those of you who might be thinking that might be giving Madara too much credit on, like, knowledge, keep in mind, Zetsu, like, immediately knew what it was during the fight between Itachi. Like, that's the Totsuka blade, also known as the Nagasaki blade. Like, Orochimaru's been looking for that forever. So, like, I assume...
Yeah, Orochimaru also knew about it.
Yeah.
And Madara was the guy who lived 100 years or so. He knew a lot of stuff.
So, yeah, like, that, I fully would be willing to believe that Madara already knew about Totsuka blade. So, yeah, like... And the Yadomir, for that matter. So if he sees that it's the Yadomir that Itachi's defending with, then
he'd probably say, "Oh, okay, maybe he has Totsuka blade as well. I mean, let's be careful here."
Well, and if that's the case, then Madara just might go ahead and whip out his perfect Susanoo and try to get the job done. And that's the thing too, is like I hate saying this, but like maybe all it's really going to take is just his perfect Susanoo. I think we're being generous towards the Edo duo and saying that Madara wouldn't immediately go for...
He probably wouldn't. He just tended to do that against Hashirama, to be fair, so he wouldn't start with a perfect Susanoo. It's kind of dishonorable for Madara to use his perfect Susanoo at all. He's like, I don't want to use that against lesser foes, because my reputation will be stained if, like, I don't kill them or anything like that. Well, he even chose not to use the perfect Susanoo again when he broke out of the Edo Tensei against the 5 Kage, because he was like, yeah, if I have to use my perfect Susanoo again against you guys, it's going to be terrible for me.
Yeah, for real. Well, and that's the thing is, like, I could totally see, like, say, if he used the 25 wood clone and the Susanoo tactic that he used against 5 Kage, I could see him doing that and having 20 of them handle Nagato and any of the summons that he has on the field, and have 5 go for Itachi. I'm not trying to sleep on Itachi, like, at all, but I'd imagine, like, 5 Madara wood clones in the Susanoo would be plenty, not plenty enough. I'd say that Itachi could still give them a fight, but I think at the end of the day, I think 5 Susanoo wood clones is going to be enough to overwhelm Itachi, even with the Yadomir and Totsuka blade.
I mean, the Yadomir can definitely block stuff, but you can come from behind, especially when you have numbers advantage. And Madara also has a pretty damn powerful wood style in Edo Tensei form. Of course, the Polen Jutsu wouldn't really affect Itachi and Nagato because they're dead, so they wouldn't like breathe it in. But even Deep Forest Emergence and the Wood Dragon would be very tough to deal with. I mean, the Wood Dragon was literally completely paralyzing the Kurama avatar Naruto was using, and like it took him a while to break out of that.
Just to make sure, like, we're not like sleeping on this duo, because I know it might seem like we're just talking about them like 1v1, but even if they use teamwork, like I said, like, he could just use 25 wood clones in the Susanoo, and I imagine 20 of those would be enough to take on Nagato and his summons if needed be, and 5 should be enough, plus the real Madara if needed be can team up with the other 5 that are fighting Itachi and get the job done.
Yeah, because let's go through the other stuff that we didn't talk about. For example, Amaterasu, completely worthless against Madara. He can just absorb it. Tsukiyomi wouldn't work because Madara could break out of it. He has greater prowess with his eyesight, and also, even if he got hit completely by Tsukiyomi, he's an Edo Tensei. I doubt she would feel the effects the same way a real person would. And for Nagato, like Chibaku Tensei, I don't see it doing much to Madara. He can destroy the thing before it even forms, like Itachi did in this fight. And maybe you can try and say the catastrophic Shinra-Tensei used on the Leaf Village could be powerful, and I can see that, but would it
just like
defeat Madara?
Could Madara just reciprocate by doing the exact
True, yeah, or like activating the perfect Usano and just like completely shrugging that off. It's a tough fight for them, definitely.
Like you can ask Daigo. Like I was racking my brain trying to give it the Edo duo.
There's like also Kodo Matsukami and Izanami in Itachi's favor here, but would he be able to put Madara Uchiha under Izanami? Madara would definitely know what Izanami is, and like going through all those weird steps, recording them into the memory and stuff wouldn't really work against Madara, I would say. And Kodo Matsukami, that's very finicky because Itachi prepared that jutsu to be used against Sasuke, so can he just like override the jutsu while they're fighting? If he even has the crow, because technically the crow is in Naruto's stomach.
Yep.
So it's just a lot of, maybe.
I think that Izanami might be, if we're out of those two, I think Izanami might be the closest thing that, that Itachi could land. And I would give a slight benefit of the doubt to Itachi because he was able to pull it off in the midst of all the craziness going on in their fight against Kabuto. But admittedly, Sasuke was kind of there providing support. So, I guess
Nagato would be here.
Yeah,
but
true.
The difference between Madara and Kabuto, I would say it's pretty stark.
Yeah. I was just saying, I was trying to give like Itachi some benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Because of all the craziness that's going on in their fight, like, and he was still able to pull it off. Like, maybe there's a chance that, but like you said, like Madara, there's a really good chance that Madara is going to be fully aware of Izanami.
Yeah, if he sees, okay, Itachi is trying to use Izanami against me, let me not fall for that. That probably work.
Yeah.
It's also probably access to Izanagi if he has Izanami, but then again, like, even if Madara gets a ceiling on him, drains his soul with the human path, and Itachi uses Izanagi, then he doesn't have an eye anymore. Yep. That's problematic.
And God forbid, Madara is not damaged in the least. When that happens, they're gonna be screwed because like one-eyed Sharingan Itachi, and even with Nagato at his side, I don't know, it's gonna be a little bit detrimental. So
we're assuming that Madara, for him to win this thing, he would just obliterate their Edo Tensei forms like into dust essentially, and while they're coalescing back into existence, Madara would reach up to them and essentially drain their soul with the human path. That would be probably best method for him to use. Maybe he also has other types of sealing jutsu that we never see before. We'd also never see his Mangekyo Sharingan abilities, the base ones, which is kind of unfortunate, but
the soul sealing would just be like the quickest way to get the job done. Like I said, as soon as they're regenerating. And we see that like the regeneration takes a minute, depending on how much damage you're doing to somebody. Like,
yeah, especially when they're completely destroyed.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
Hiruzen got his whole top half blown off, and it took him a minute to regenerate. So that's plenty enough time for Madara to reach over and just...
Even Madara and Mu, when Madara, used the meteor, they got completely destroyed, and they took a while to reform.
Mm-hmm. We tried to do this in the perspective of the duo to see... how they would get the win. And I think there's a chance. Like, I think it's a very, 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 very slim chance if they worked, and again, that's all assuming that, like, Nagato already has all the summons on the field. Itachi's already whipped out his Susanoo, and their teamwork is just that good that maybe, Itachi can set up Izanami well enough, or maybe even get the plan of Totsuka Blade with the sheer.
Yeah, I think their best chance would be to catch Madara somewhat off guard by the Totsuka Blade, when Itachi doesn't really show that he has in the beginning of the fights. And so when Madara's like toying with them, like he was doing to the 5 Kage, Madara actually gets hit by the Totsuka Blade, and then he's like, oh, it's too late now, you're done. But,
yeah, exactly.
It'd be difficult to do it regardless.
Yeah.
Because, like, I brought that point before when Gaara used the pyramid to seal Madara in the fight, and the Kage actually thought they got him sealed. But no, it was actually a wood clone. We don't see when Madara used that wood clone to, like, substitute. We don't know if that's a substitution jutsu, or if he just sent the wood clone to fight against the Kage. But if that's a substitution and Madara just changed positions with a wood clone, but he actually got caught by the pyramid of sand, then this wouldn't work. against the Tosuka blade, because once the blade hits you, then pretty much imply that you get stunned and you can't do much about it.
Yep. So I want to say that, like, if I had to do a 1 to 10 like I normally do it, I'd say that Madara does win this 8 out of 10 times, and I honestly think that's being generous.
I would say Madara wins like 99 times out of 100. There's that one time they get lucky and they get a Tosuka blade in, or maybe even Izanami, but I'd say the deck's very much stacked against him.
Yeah. I know Itachi lovers are going to hate me, because I at the beginning of the video I said I was trying to do my best to give Itachi some love this time around, but I mean, it's Madara, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think you picked the wrong opponent for Itachi here to give him some love.
Guys, I'm going to try to do my best. I do recognize that this duo is like legit. Like I said at the beginning of the video, like aside from Madara, they are the most powerful Edo Tensei.
Oh yeah.
They probably could solo just about anybody if they really put their mind to it, like, honest to God. So, like,
Kabuto really thought they were the best weapon he had, and he summoned those 4 really powerful Kage, including like the 4th Kazekage, and then the 3rd Raikage, and Mu, and he still thought that Itachi and Nagato were a bigger deal than they were.
Yeah, that in itself. So I really hope that, like, even at the conclusion of this video, that y'all aren't thinking that I'm sleeping on Nagato and Itachi, because I recognize that they're extremely powerful. But this is Madara, who again has all the abilities that Nagato already possesses anyway. I mean, and then some. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I think we did well enough for the conclusion of this video. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Daigo, thank you so much for being on this channel again for me.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you all liked the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Daigo if you haven't already. And until my next one, like Snow, out.